front of the M&S.
Hello peoples, right, so we're in Las Palmas, the city closest to the island where we're staying, Gran Canaria.
It's actually the only big city in Gran Canaria. Our first stop is the house of Columbus, the guy who discovered that beautiful continent.
Right now, we're in the first fort built in 1478 by Juan Region, and he was the founder of the island, Las Palmas Island. And this fort was the first foundations built in that year, 1478. And later on, I'll tell you how it becomes Columbus's house. I'm someone who's easily intrigued by historical facts, and although I slept all the way in here, I'm waking up now. It was like an hour-ish trip, but then it was awake all the way, taking in the sights. Right, so the Canarian Islands is 7 in total, and we're at Gran Canaria. And yesterday when Dan was talking about us going to the southern point, he thought we were going to there, but this is where we went to yesterday when we were walking on the dunes. So it's nice to see that on a map.
You see that on his first route, he came from all the way from Spain, coming down all the way next to Africa, and he stopped on Gran Canaria, Las Palmas exactly. And then, I don't know what were these lines, however, he stopped again on another island, gathered some more people and crew, and then sailed to America. That was his first trip. I don't know what's these green and blue, God knows, maybe first time you went there, I don't know. This is
yeah, no, it's fine.
As a second route, he did the exact same. He stopped in Las Palmas, he stopped in Gomera, in Cairo, and then he went to America.
There are 13 rooms in this little building that we're looking through. I've just heard a story about how building ships back in the day was more like a family business. What they do is they cut the trees at a certain time of the year and then build their ship, and it was like a relationship with the ship. And then, anyways, this thing here I'm supposed to be in is a replica of Columbus's, what's the name of that ship? Maybe Santa Maria. And apparently this is what his chamber looked like. Okay, so I'm not about to do a history lesson on here, but did you know that Columbus set out on his mission to find America because they were trying to find a route to Asia so that they could kind of create other trade routes at the point when the Turks had won and they had closed off the trade route and it was monopolized. So Mr. Columbus decided that he'll set out on an expedition to find a route to Asia so that they could, you know, for themselves. Well, not particularly for himself, I think for Italy, Genoa, where he was born, where they could find another route to securing spices. And during that time, spices was a luxury. There's the king who signed the go-ahead for his expeditions, and that's Queen Isabella, who was also monumental in signing this. Alright, so we're done at Columbus's house, and it was interesting to take a little walk down the walls of time in that building. It was really interesting to see what the first Canarian Island settlements were, and the reason why that house is called Columbus's house is because the initial founder gifted it to him after he had visited, stopped by over there on 3 of his expeditions. So I think it was some kind of commemoration of him stopping by here in the Canarian Islands. And I think if you're ever visiting, I think that one of the nicest things to see in there, well, I liked it, was the recreation of the Columbus's cabin in I think it was on the Santa Maria ship, and I found that really, really intriguing. I enjoyed sitting there and just having a little look around. I really liked seeing all the creations that they did in there. There was some recreation of what the Canarian Islands started as, and there behind me is the cathedral. Beautiful. This is quite a nice courtyard. It's time for a coffee. We need to grab a coffee to get active for the rest of the day.
We in the city with a pro shake, rattle, roll, and I'm a goddamn rolling stone. I don't beg, I can hold my own. I don't break, I can hold the throne. In this way, in a ton, and I'm a son of a gun. My code name is the only one, and black gold is bad. These streets he done around ever since when the game began. I never played a fool. Matter of fact, I've been keeping it cool since money been changing